Well, good morning everybody and welcome back to another film. So the time right now is 6 a.m. and as you can see, got a really dull, flat day. It's actually due to start raining at 7, so I've got a brolly and a waterproof, and hopefully that'll pass by and enable me to carry on and get some images once that's gone through. I've come to somewhere a little bit different today. As you can see, I've come to the coast, and currently I'm walking through an area of sand dunes to get to the front. Now, my idea this morning was to get onto the seafront and see what I could find literally on the beach, but coming through here it's hard to not stop and notice the things that are around me. Now, full marks for those of you that have already spotted the scene in front of the camera. 3 rosebay willow herbs, perfect scenario for a photograph, completely flat to the camera, nice and straight, and ordinarily I'd be looking to shoot those because you don't often get such nice separation between a plant and its background, especially when they're in a line like that. The reason I'm not doing it, if you've noticed, is that the one on the left isn't quite in great condition. The flowers on the top of the spike have gone, sadly, whereas you look at the 2 on the right, they're in really nice condition, and it's scenes like that in groups of 3 that I really look for. And imagine the light coming from behind through those flowering heads there. That would have looked really lovely. But I just thought I'd point out as I was passing plants that I look out for, and in this instance the reason why I'm not going to photograph it. So I'm going to carry on in my general direction and see what I can pick up on the way. So I've not got very far at all. I'm still probably about 500 metres off the coast, and in walking through the sand dunes, this first section of nice clean dunes, I started to notice patterns in the sand, and there's various things that have caught my eye. The first thing that I started to notice was the reptile prints that have moved through the clean sand. Now, here in this part of the UK, we get the common lizard and also the sand lizard. Sand lizard's quite a big reptile, but I don't think these markings are actually sand lizards. I think they're more like the common lizard. They're quite small. But I then started to notice these black marks in the sand, how they contrast really nicely with the lighter sand. And then I moved on to this, which is just a simple bramble stem. One of the runners creeping out as they do, sort of taking over the habitat. And I just love the way that it moved along the clean sand, and then you've got other runners coming out, and it's just lovely and flat and a nice easy subject. And I thought it would be a good one to start the morning, and especially since the rain seems to be on its way. The clouds are getting increasingly dark, and I thought, well, let's get one in the bag, and at least we've got something to be going on with. So I've actually got a fairly wide lens on. I'm on about 35mm at the moment. Usually I've been working a lot with the macro of late, and this one I'm pleased to say isn't a macro for a change. So very, very simple. I'm on f/16. It's nice and flat to the camera, like I say. And what I really like about it is that the runners created this lovely diagonal through the frame, and then you've got these fingers coming off, all filled with nice green foliage that's just nicely spaced apart. And like I say, you've got the sand patterns and the nice contrast between the dark and the light sand. And if you look on the right hand side of the frame, there is actually one of the little reptile prints just going up from one side there. I'm not too fussed about that. It's probably not compositionally, it's probably not in the right place, and it probably doesn't add a great deal to the image, but just so you can see that that is there on the right hand side of the frame. So I'll put that on now. clouds are getting extremely dark, and I'm beginning to think this shower or brief period of rain that was forecast is going to be more, significantly more than what I was hoping for. But I've not got very far at all. I'll just show you, actually, see if you can see. You can just about see the coast in front of me there, but I'm just not going to make it. There's so many things that I'm seeing, and I've just parked my tripod down here because there's just a little leaf down in the sand there, and God, I seem to photograph a lot of leaves in my photographic outings, but this one just down here, see if I can show you, has just got a nice covering of sand on it, just there, look. And I think that will make a lovely close-up. So I'm going to get the camera out. I've only just put it away and grab this one, and hopefully after this one I'll make it to the coast. Really happy with how this image is looking. But before we get into the image, I just want to mention quickly about kit and looking after it. Obviously I'm working in sand, and as many of you will appreciate, that sand is not the camera equipment's best friend. Often when I'm setting up my tripod, I'm a little bit lazy sometimes, and rather than bend down, I'll start with the top leg and I'll push that down first. But because of where we are today, I've been very careful to extend the bottom portion of the leg first, because I don't want any of the mechanism ending up in the sand, which is what would happen if I just started with the top leg. Now, many of you will notice that I'm now using a new tripod. This is the Kingjoy tripod, and I've recently got my hands on one full time, and I'm really loving it indeed. I'm still waiting for a head to come, but the tripod itself is so lovely to use. It's so slick, it's got these lovely foam grips, and it's just been, pardon the pun, a joy to use since I've had it. It certainly has, Mr. Pheasant. So this is the C85 tripod, and if you're interested in one of these, there is an affiliate link on my website. Now, onto the image. So I am using my macro lens this time, camera positioned in the same position as it was on the previous shot, directly above, looking down on this lovely leaf. It looks beautiful, gorgeous through the back of the camera. I'm quite excited by this one. I love the simplicity and the cleanness of it. I've angled the camera carefully so that the leaf is on a nice diagonal. And I've taken two images of this. I've taken one with quite a bit of negative space around it, and one to the crop, which I actually prefer and would automatically gravitate to. I have done a stack. I'm on f13, 100 ISO, and I've got a fifth of a second. I've done a stack of two. Reason being that the leaf has got two elevated portions to it. You've got a stalk on this end, and you've got the tip of the leaf is curled up at the left hand side. So I've done one image for that, for those two areas there, and then one image for the sand and the bottom part of the leaf. I'm pretty sure this is a poplar leaf of some description. It looks a bit like a lime leaf, but it's too small. I don't want to pick it up and start disturbing it because it's going to ruin the image. But like I say, 100 ISO, f13, a stack of two, and I'll put that on now. So finally I've got to the coast after much distractions on the way, and I have to say I'm tempted to stay in there. It's really full of opportunities I'm finding this morning, and this lovely flat subdued light really lends itself to that type of photography. But I am here now. I'll just spin you around and show you the view. Look at those clouds. It's pretty featureless, is the Sefton coast. This is not far from the Mersey, the River Mersey. And my plan today was to come, because I've never been here before, was just to see what the landscape potential was, knowing full well that, like I say, our coast is pretty featureless on the west coast of the UK. The Morecambe Bay estuary, the Ribble estuary, and the Mersey estuary are all pretty much as you see it now, just huge expanses of sand. These areas internationally important for wintering birds on passage and during the winter time, and they spend a lot of time feeding along these big expansive areas of sand. And you've got areas of mud flats in the northerly direction there, and when the tide's up, as it is today, the birds move inland and they feed on the agricultural farmland probably about 5 miles from here. So this designation is what we call in the UK an SPA, which is a special protection area. This particular point where I am today is also a national nature reserve. But yeah, you wouldn't know it to look at it, but the birds just love it here. In the winter time, birds come down from Iceland and spend the winter all along this coastline. The hooper swans and pink-footed geese. I actually put some pictures of those up now for you. So I wanted to come today to have a look along the strand line. The strand line is the sort of debris that the sea washes up, and I thought that there might be some opportunities there, along with having a look at what the overall landscape potential is. But I'm not seeing much today, that's for sure. And I know this area can be nice when the tide is really out. There's some very, very minimalist landscapes to be had, but it's up today and I can't get into those areas. So I'm going to have a look along the strand line and just see what that presents me with. But failing that, I'm going back in there, because I think my third image of the day possibly lies within those dunes, but we'll see. It's going to start raining anytime soon, so I'm going to grab what could possibly be my last shot of the day, because I think this is coming and I think it's going to be in for some considerable time. So I will make it quick. It's going to be some sand patterns, actually. Not normal sand patterns, never seen patterns like that before, and it's that's caught my eye. I love the contrast of the patterns themselves. There's some really dark areas and some light areas, and I think if I'm careful and I compose the scene correctly, I think I can make quite a compelling shot out of them. So I've had to make a little bit of a retreat. The weather has caught up with me finally. I thought it might do this morning. It's just come down in one almighty heavy shower just then, and I've just come away from the beach to escape the wind which is blowing down the front there. The shot I was just setting up had a lot of potential, and tried to get a quick one before I got soaked, and don't really feel that I got the composition I was hoping for, and the light changed right at the last minute. The patterns, the shadows and highlights within the patterns that I noticed initially just seemed to have gone by the time I got the camera up, and certainly at this moment in time I don't feel overly happy with what I've got. If it's worked out, I'll put it on in a second, but I'm going to leave it there, I'm afraid. I've just checked the weather report and this has now changed, and it's in for the whole day. It was only given for a period of about a short period this morning, for a couple of hours perhaps, and I thought I could see through that and get a bit of shelter, but from what I can gather, this is in for the rest of the day. So I'll put all the images on at the end, whether it's 2 or 3, I'm not sure yet, but hope you've enjoyed the short video. The images that I've got in the dunes I'm really pleased with, especially that last one. That last one's probably the best of the day, and I'm sure most people agree. Let me know in the comments below what you think of those images, and If you're not already a subscriber, as always, don't forget to subscribe. So until next time, I will thank you all so much for joining me once again, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.